Common form of meningococcal infection is usually seen as acute purulent meningitis, and some of the signs and symptoms is actually appearance of scattered skin, petechiae, and may evolve into ecchymosis. And then another form of infection that causes the disease is meningococemia, which may progress to full disseminated intravascular coagulation. And then the more serious form of meningococcal disease is shock with bilateral hemorrhagic destruction of the adrenal glands, which is the Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. And then if these are all resolved, you still may have complications that may be for life and never will go away. So this next video I wanted to see actually is about a patient named Kyla Winters who actually had to receive a kidney transplant, and then is going actually through serious complications that she has as of right now. So let me show you this video.
All right, back to school. And bacterial meningitis is a big concern for a lot of parents and students right now. It's a disease that can kill healthy young people with frightening speed. Kyla Winters contracted meningitis a year ago, and it left her kidneys damaged and forced doctors to amputate both her legs, below the knee, and her fingers. And she received a kidney from her twin sister. Kyla joins us now from San Diego, along with Dr. J.J. Levenstein in Los Angeles. So let's begin with you, Kyla. How are you feeling, first of all?
Pretty good. We had the kidney surgery just 3 weeks ago, and both my sister Leanna and I are recovering.
Okay.
So doing a lot better.
Oh, that's great. But I know it's been a very long haul along the way. How old were you when you contracted meningitis?
I was 38. So
and how do you suppose
it was an
you were
older for me.
Yeah, how do you suppose you were exposed to it?
We have no idea. The doctors have no idea. I guess you can catch it like a common cold, and just some people are more susceptible.
And what were the symptoms for you? At what point did you realize something is really wrong?
Well, my memory is a little bit unclear about it, but I guess I had a fever and I was vomiting, and just felt very feverish and sick.
And so,
and I knew something was wrong.
Because it could be confused with a whole lot of other things.
I guess that's true, but I was sick during the evening and in the morning. I've never called the ambulance or a friend did, but I said, you need to call an ambulance. I knew something severe was going on.
And once you got to a doctor, what was the diagnosis, prognosis? What was the treatment? What was said to you?
Well, I don't have a very clear memory of anything. In fact, I was in ICU for 6 weeks, and there's something called ICU psychosis, and that leads to a lot of memory loss. But my sisters have told me that what occurred is they said that I had less than 10% chance to survive, and I had kidney failure the very next day, August 25th, and on October 5th they amputated my legs below the knee, and all my fingers were amputated.
And in a very courageous way, your twin sister actually ended up being a real godsend for you too. Explain how.
Well, not only did she give me a kidney, but she moved her entire family down from the Bay Area to take care of me and to get me on the road to recovery and help me with rehab. My other sisters were extraordinary in a support system from both my sister and myself. So the family has been there for us, including my dad's flown across country from Florida. My mother's come down from LA as well.
An incredible support system you had there. So Dr. J.J. Levenstein, let me bring you into the equation here. Is this experience that Kyla had very common?
Well, with the particular type of meningitis that she had, called meningococcal meningitis, about 50% are estimated to have blood-borne infection that causes very rapid organ system failure, lack of blood flow to the extremities, and is responsible often in 1 to 10% of cases for amputations, for organ failure, and for profound shock and a profound need for medical support.
And so who is at risk particularly? I mean, it's very random exposure, but are some more vulnerable than others?
Oh, the answer to that certainly is yes. It's thought that the germs that lead to this particular kind of meningitis live in the nose and throat of about 5 to 10% of humans at any given time. And with a simple act such as a sneeze or sharing of saliva or intimate physical face-to-face contact, if you are a vulnerable person, if you're very young, under the age of 1, if you have immune deficiencies, if you have no spleen, if you are a college freshman living in a dorm in crowded conditions where you're not sleeping very well, you're exposed to secondhand smoke, your health may not be in the most optimum condition. Those are the groups who are thought to be at most risk, as well as folks who who work in microbiologic laboratories and have exposure to this, military recruits, and the elderly as well.
So what are protections? How can one protect themselves against this kind of exposure under any number of those things that you just mentioned?
Well, I think on a global basis, one of the best things that we can do is immunize against this type of meningitis. There are 4 strains that are responsible for disease in general, and 3 of them are very common in the United States. 2 can be immunized against with current vaccines. And the American Council on Immunization Practices in the United States is recommending that 11 and 12-year-olds, and certainly all adolescents up until the age of 18, be immunized at 100%. And for those individuals who have medical conditions where they are at higher risk, even adults or younger children, that immunization of those groups is also recommended. So prevention is a big part of this. On an individual basis, what can we do? Share saliva less, not share food and utensils. Try to also recognize that if we had some of these worrisome symptoms, that we would seek medical care early, because early intervention results in better outcomes.
Really is the key. Dr. J.J. Levinstein, thanks so much from Los Angeles, and Kyla Winters coming to us from San Diego. Thanks for your time, both of you ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck, Kyla.
All the best, Kyla.
Thank you.
So this video actually kind of depicted some of the serious complications that are associated with meningitis, and then the doctor actually speaking about ways how to prevent getting the disease, and what are some of the ways you could actually see if you do have the disease, since it's similar to the flu as well.